All right, welcome to the second part of the webcast we were doing over the weekend. My computer fell asleep, so sorry for the technical difficulties. But I'm back, Charles Taylor, with Patrick Brackett. Say what's up, Patrick.
So, hey, did you already post that other one?
Not yet, not
Oh,
yet.
okay. Let me turn on the light. I got it all romantical in here. Okay.
Yeah, not yet. I was gonna post them when we did the second part, but yeah, that one's getting ran. But
Oh, today? You see
huh?
that? See that? Representing the business today, dog.
I like it. In the technology. I like it. I like it. I had yeah, I forgot you had shirts made for it.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Build me a new website as we speak, dog. Well, not as we speak, but it's coming.
Man, Mr. Entrepreneur over here. That's what's up, Patrick. Well, hey man, we left off talking about the Arizona Carolina game, and I just wanted to go ahead and throw my thoughts on there, and then we could move on. And well, shoot, if you had any more thoughts on it, that you could throw those in there too. But um, me personally, hey, I just the game pretty much went how I thought, man. I just felt like Carolina's defense was going to get some pressure on Carson Palmer because from a couple of weeks ago when they got pressure on Russell Wilson for Seattle, they sacked him 5 times, and his ability, his escape ability, kept a few more sacks from being made. And Carson Palmer doesn't have that type of ability. He's pretty much a sitting duck back there. So I figured they were going to get heavy pressure on him, and it was going to cause some turnovers. I didn't see 6 turnovers, but I knew it would cause turnovers. And on offense, um, Carolina runs the ball really well. Arizona's defense, why they do like to blitz, they're not the most physical defense up front. And I felt like Carolina could get a good running game going, which ultimately can it can negate a blitz. And when you're able to run the football, you have to bring more people into the box. Carolina got some one-on-one coverages, and they ate them up with it.
Mm-hmm.
On top of Cam Newton running the football well with Jonathan Stewart and Mike Tolbert, it got ugly in a hurry, man. So honestly, that's what I saw all year. If Carolina did end up playing Arizona, I didn't think it would be that bad, but I felt like it would get pretty get handled, and what happened?
Well, I agree. Anybody that called a 49-15 game is a flat out lie. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. I mean, let's say they got Arizona got ran down, but I mean, come on, 49-15. Whoever called that, I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't believe anybody that called that. But hey, Carolina whipped that ass for them. So
All right. Well, I guess what coming on later on in the week, we'll have our picks for the Super Bowl, and we'll see how those go. But let's move on, Patrick, to some college basketball. So this is our first time actually talking about college basketball for the year, and there were some good games on yesterday, especially particularly with that SEC Big 12 challenge. Uh, Oklahoma is the number one team in the nation right now. They had a tough game down in Baton Rouge against LSU, but we're able to pull that out. Buddy Hield looks like he's looking like the player of the year right now. We'll see what changes, but he's looking like the player of the year. You know that hurts me being a Longhorns fan, but Buddy Hield he's nice. He's a good player. Kentucky and Kansas, another good game that took place. That one went to overtime. Kansas was able to pull that out in the Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and Iowa State and Texas A&M ended up being a good game too. So, what are your general thoughts on the season in general, and who do you look at as a team, or who you think would be a favorite to win it all?
well, first of all, let me introduce you to my son, who likes to who wants to come in and I guess be in the yeah, there we go. There he is. Eastern bracket, everybody. Eastern bracket.
He's got his dad's genes for making an entrance.
Yeah, man, well, anyway, he didn't want to hang around for the basketball.
Oh.
Right now there's the top five just look phenomenal right now. Oklahoma, they had a tough one with LSU yesterday. But they lost 2 games. They're looking really good. I mean, who's going to beat that overbite that Buddy Hield's got, man? Ow. He looked like he got Pac-Man fever on everybody in that. Ow, ow, ow.
So Oklahoma's going to win because of Buddy Hield's overbite.
Probably. No, man, that's just look. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When AD was going through, everybody was afraid of that unibrow. He was consistent all the way across. And I'm gonna tell you, man. Hey, he was a scary dude. Scary dude in the NBA right now too. But Buddy Hield got that, man. He got that overbite, man. That's scary, man. I bet anytime everybody goes, they're afraid that he's gonna eat their arm. I'd be afraid to go against him. Just saying.
Because of the overbite.
But
nothing to do with his shooting ability or anything like that. Just
no, his skill is just like yeah. No, that's an overbite, man. oh man. No, the dude's for real. He's looking probably the best. We were talking about Simmons earlier, and before the webcast started, and this guy was supposed to be, like you were saying, or you were telling me, he's supposed to be the mix between Magic Johnson and LeBron James, and
that's the hype that's with him, man.
The hype that's with him. Right? I mean, granted, he probably has the skill. I mean, I personally haven't seen that skill, but he's young. I mean, he could probably do something like that. But Buddy, I mean, he's shouldering Oklahoma, man, and I mean, he put up 35 points against LSU yesterday. On top of that, had 14 rebounds. I mean, he just played out flat out phenomenal, and that's gonna be a hard team. Oklahoma's gonna be a hard team to beat. But the Kansas Kentucky game was a good game too. I think that one went into overtime, and Kansas finally pulled it off by 2 points. It was like 70-68 or 80-78 or something like that.
Yeah, they won 90-84.
That one. Okay, yeah, that's one. But Kansas looked really good. Kentucky looked really good. I mean, you're going to see both of those teams in the bracket this year. You're going to see both of those teams, and unfortunately, you'll probably see that piece of crap team that always screws me over and kicks every one of those brackets I have. That freaking Duke team. Ugh, I can't stand that team. Duke doesn't bother me. It's Duke basketball that bothers me. But then you look at Texas A&M, man. Texas A&M looks pretty good too. They've carried a couple of losses. It's real hard to go through any season undefeated in basketball, especially in college basketball. So many good teams. But Texas A&M's looking really good. They got a sick offense, man. They got a sick offense. And then North Carolina. North Carolina's got a pretty good team this year. Hopefully the overhyped bug doesn't bite them in the ass this year and they fall all the way down to 20th place, man, or something like that. But they look pretty good this year too. And then Iowa looks really well. I haven't seen really any weaknesses out of that top five. I mean, I agree with that top five and the way it looks. So
North Carolina, you mentioned them. If they can stay healthy, they could be a team that could emerge as the favorite. They have a lot of talent on that team with Marcus Page, Kennedy Meeks, and Bryce Johnson in the middle. They have a lot of talent, and they could go pretty deep on their bench to 10 deep. So if they can stay healthy, they could emerge as the favorite, but that remains to be seen.
With North Carolina, it always does.
And I want to bring up the Big 12 for a second. Well, I guess we brought them up with the Big 12 SEC Challenge, but the Big 12 is probably from top to bottom. From top to bottom, I would say is probably the best conference playing right now. The Big 10 is pretty good. The ACC has some talent in there. The SEC has some talent in there. Pac-12 too. They got some teams out there that can make some noise. But the Big 12, man, you look at Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa State, Texas is rising. More on them in a minute, of course. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Texas fan, but just for real.
Hey, Texas been playing really well.
Well, they beat North Carolina.
Well, on top of that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean they beat North Carolina and they won at West Virginia. Speaking of West Virginia, they got whooped in Florida in the SEC challenge.
yeah, that was ass moving too.
But
well, don't go dancing on that logo. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might not want to be dancing on the other team's home logo, but
it's always a recipe for an ass whooping. Always. Yes. Dance on that logo. We might send them out to damn LA.
Terrible. But we can look at the Big 12 and we can say, all right, my phone's ringing. Sorry.
But I'll come back in a minute. Live TV, baby, live TV. It's all right.
But no, the Big 12 is crazy because you've had two of those teams, Oklahoma and Kansas, who have been number one in the nation. I think we've seen 5 teams ranked at number one. Kentucky was number one earlier in the year. So was Michigan State and North Carolina. All those guys took losses, and Oklahoma and Kansas has had they've held the ranking, I think, between those two for about the last couple of weeks. But Kansas has taken a couple of losses on the road to Iowa State and West Virginia. And Oklahoma got beat at Iowa State too. The funny thing about this was there was court stormings for all these. So I like to call them the court storming game. In the Big 12 conference, there was 3 court storming games in a week. Mm-hmm. Kansas got beat twice. Actually, Kansas has another loss too. They got beat at Oklahoma State. And then you had Oklahoma get beat by Iowa State. That was a court storming game because Oklahoma is still number one. But the depth of the conference is really it's huge. I mean, you got, I think 7 of those teams will probably get into the tournament. And back on Texas for a minute, with Shaka Smart coaching them now, I think they can start to get them or get the most out of that talent that is there in Austin.
Well, yeah. When did he take over? It was like a couple.
Yeah, before the year started.
Oh, it was
because Rick Barnes is actually in Tennessee.
That's right. I do remember that now. You told me that earlier this year. Now I remember you saying that. I forgot all about that.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, that's what I'm here for, Patrick. You know,
yeah. That's the reason why you're the host and I'm the coach.
So, hey, you know what? Hey, but it's starting to get close. You got a month left until those conference tournaments start, and then of course, March Madness. So it'll be interesting to see how everything rounds out, and we'll definitely talk about it more as it is. I mean, I'm kind of salty because we didn't talk about it earlier. I guess we were so engrossed in the football and seeing how the playoffs were going to go, we didn't get the chance to get on it, but.
Yeah. Oh, and I gotta say this though. SMU, dude. They're playing really good basketball too. I have to point them out, and the only reason why I point them out is because of this. They're 18-1, and I think that's enough said. Their only loss came to Temple, man. You know what I'm saying? And that was an away game, but I wanted to point them out because, you know, what are they? 13th? I gotta look it up. Hold on. Let me look it up. Sports fans, hold on. Yeah, 13th. They're 13th in the ranking, dude. So I wanted to point them out. This is a team that you know, they don't have a lot of the top ranked playing, but they're steadily making some noise right now. and they weren't even ranked at the beginning of the season. Here they are, 13th. So I wanted to point them out because they're looking and playing good. I noticed them when they were 13-1, and paid attention to them a little bit, and they have just steadily played good ball. So this team that can make some noise in some of these later games, and I don't know how far they would go into a tournament, but
well, Patrick, funny you mentioned a tournament because SMU cannot play in the tournament this year because they are on the postseason ban for the year.
What happened?
It's SMU, dude. So
Probably some sex scandal.
Yes. It is
funny we mentioned sex scandal because there is Louisville lurking 3 spots behind, and they probably in a sex scandal too.
Well, they were, of course. I guess there's still some investigation going on.
I think they're not. I don't even think they're tournament worthy this year either.
Well, in SMU's case, this was an academic scandal, I guess, and they put them on a postseason ban so they can't play in the conference tournament or in the NCAA tournament. It had something to do with the player who is actually not even at the school anymore, Keith Frazier. I forgot where he transferred to. As a matter of fact, no, I think he transferred to
Louisville.
No. I want to say North Texas. I mean, truthfully, I want to say North Texas. My school. So, well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, SMU. For the fact they do have the record they have, that's probably even more remarkable considering they're not even going to any postseason play.
Maybe that's the reason why they got that record, because nobody cares. No, every time you say North Texas, though, all I could think is the Baggertron, or whatever he says on Key and Peele. Yeah. Have you not seen it yet? Oh God, Charles, you're falling behind.
I gotta look at it, man. I mean, I looked at all the other ones, but is it another East-West All-Star game?
It's the Pro Bowl last year when they did the Super.
I saw that, man. I didn't remember them saying the.
He's got all kinds of dreads hanging down. He's got 2 teeth, and
he goes to North Texas.
The baggage cleans. North Texas. Yeah, it's every time you say North Texas, I always think about him. I'm gonna have to pull him up and let everybody see him. Anyway, we'll go on.
Well, Patrick,
everybody, you probably won't laugh at that.
Well, hey, well, what we're gonna move on to, man. Get to talk about the Cleve, the land, Cavaliers, and
you like this ranting about this idiot that plays it. Okay, let's go.
Let's get it. All right, so
let me shut the door. Let me shut the door because it's getting nasty in here.
All right. Well, so of course we know from last week they fired their head coach David Blatt. Cleveland at the time was 30-11, first place in the Eastern Conference. Few days before that happened, they got blown out by the Warriors, by the Dubs, 132-98. So I guess the thinking was the coach was over his head. The atmosphere around there wasn't the best. Now they have Tyronn Lue in there. They beat the Spurs Saturday, 117-103. So they're 4-1. Yeah, 4-1 since Tyronn Lue took over. Remains to be seen that it will be enough for them to get to a title. With all that said, Patrick, we all know who this falls back on. So without further ado, man, I ain't even going to say nothing else, man. I'm just going to let you get your thoughts in there, and then I'll jump in afterwards. I can see you chopping at the bit. Go ahead. Show the camera. Show the world.
You ready? World, look, this is all LeBron James' fault. Every bit of it. This dude, even when he was in Miami, man, he tried to get Spoelstra fired. Now, don't get me wrong. Spoelstra probably didn't manage or coach any of that at all. He probably took everything that he was supposed to do as a coach from Pat Riley that was sitting right behind him. But this is the thing. LeBron James, if he doesn't get his way, he whines. Look, Blatt was 30-11. When you have a 30-11 record, you're not over your head. There's not a problem. The only problem that you have is that Cleveland, this piece of crap city that keeps kissing LeBron James's ass for no reason, is getting on my nerves. I mean, it's like everybody bows to this guy, and he's nothing. I mean, he's not that good. Well, he is good, but I mean, he's not good enough to be like this. I mean, this is ridiculous. And look, LeBron James pissing me off with this crap. He does this crap all the time. Oh, I'm gonna hold a press conference and I'm gonna take my talents down to Miami. Okay, well, take your talents down. You need to take your talents freaking overseas somewhere. We don't have to see you anymore. And then he's got that mangy hair, that hairstyle that has gaps in it here and here and here and there and everywhere. So you have to look at that crap. Cost the man his job. Cost the man his job, and they were 30-11. What's the problem there, Charles? You tell me what the problem is. He's a whiny little baby who gets his way, and it's ridiculous.
Well, Patrick, man, for David Blatt, we have to, I think we have to mention, we have to bring up why he was brought there in the first place. Remember, it was 3 weeks between the time he was fired and then the time LeBron James decided he was going to come back to Cleveland. So when they brought him back, or when they named him as the coach, he was brought in to kind of help the team grow. Kyrie Irving was supposed to be the building block or the cornerstone. They just signed him to a long-term deal, 5 years, $90 million, I think it was. You still had Anthony Bennett there, your first number 1 draft choice. You drafted Andrew Wiggins also, and you still had Tristan Thompson there. So there was going to be a core you were going to build this team around, and David Blatt was kind of brought in to help that core. Cleveland was supposed to be a team for the future. All of a sudden, LeBron James says he's going to come back to Cleveland. That's done now. It's no longer a rebuilding process. It's a championship or bust situation now.
Ridiculous.
LeBron comes in. They decide Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett are expendable, so they send him to Minnesota to get Kevin Love. Send them to Minnesota to get Kevin Love. And now you have a team that's supposed to compete right now for a title. When that happened, David Blatt was doomed. He was doomed from the start. And honestly, for him to be as successful as he was as a coach, that's a miracle. It's a miracle in and of itself, because I'm pretty sure he knew he was a dead man walking anyway. He was on lame duck status because LeBron, it wasn't LeBron's guy. And I don't care what anybody in Cleveland says. LeBron pretty much pushes the buttons there, and it's pretty much what he says goes. And he held a press conference. So real quick, man, I wanted to get this into. He had a press conference because people were asking him, look, man, people think you're a coach killer out there. So what do you got to say about that? And he's tried to say, I had never overstepped my boundaries. I had never undermined the coach's ability or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing there. But
what happened in the NBA Finals last year when he takes the board away from him and marks it off and says redo it?
Or in game 4 in Chicago, for the Eastern Conference semifinals, when Chicago was up 2-1, LeBron hit that jumper to win the game, right? So they do an interview with them, and he pretty much said, look, man, I just said scrap everything that was called, just get me the ball and I'm gonna win the game. And look, man, if the coach called a play, man, he probably should run that play. So for him to say he never really overstepped the boundaries, nah.
He does it all the time. Yeah, and it's plain and simple, man. And until the day I die, I will believe that LeBron James is just a total piece of shit. That's what I'm gonna believe. There ain't no change in my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fantastic player. But he's still a total piece of shit.
I mean, I just think he just says a lot of stuff that seems really hypocritical of what he says. I mean, the actions,
He's a walking contradiction. Contradicts everything he says. Keyword, dick.
The actions don't necessarily follow the words he says a lot of times. And I think with LeBron, look, well, here's the deal, Patrick. Now, coach is gone. I think Cleveland and a lot of the media and fans, for that matter, have probably given this man the benefit of the doubt a lot of times, unless you're a hardcore LeBron hater who, I mean, you're going to try to point out everything LeBron does bad, which is you. Go ahead.
I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my hand. I don't mind
you. So that's the thing. But in most cases, it seems like he gets the benefit of the doubt. Okay, David Blatt is gone now. No more excuses now. If there's no title that comes this year, it's all on LeBron. It is all on LeBron. And I also want to bring up one
LeBron
more
James will place the blame on Mario Chalmers, just like he always does.
Mario Chalmers.
I didn't win the title because Mario Chalmers didn't give me the ball. Yeah, but Mario Chalmers is in Miami. Like I said, he never got me the ball.
He's in Memphis now. They actually traded him. But
okay. But yeah, I mean, even though he's in Memphis, I know he just never got me the ball, so it's all Mario Chalmers' fault. I got this headband on there and it fell in my eyes because I couldn't see the pretty pass that Mario Chalmers put right in my hand. I couldn't see the ball because my whole thing was all up in my eyes like this right here. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, just scrap everything, get me the ball, I'll do what I do, and I'm LeBron James. I took my talents everywhere in this world because I'm the best, I'm the man, but yeah, we didn't win. We lost game 4. We got swept because Mario Chalmers didn't give me the ball.
So
crap.
So there's no excuses now, man, and it's got to be done. I want to point out something the GM said. They were interviewing him after the weekend the David Blatt got fired, and he pointed out something about identities. And it's kind of funny coming from the GM because, I mean, well, I still say LeBron runs the team, but he said this. He said, look, our team doesn't really have an identity. He said, when you look at Carolina, you went to the football. He said, when you look at Carolina, Cam Newton is the unquestioned leader of that team, and they follow his lead. His personality rubs off of everybody else. Mm-hmm. On that note, Patrick, I think we would both agree LeBron James is supposed to be the unquestioned leader of that team, right? At best, and especially after all that stuff happened with Blatt, the team didn't look that great. I mean, the atmosphere didn't look that great. If that's supposed to be a reflection on your leader, then LeBron got to step his game up.
Now, you one that pointed out look at what Kevin Love said after that beat down that they took from Golden State. And he rolled his eyes.
Yeah,
it was a bad roll too. I mean, it practically was like, yeah, and this is quote Kevin Love. Yeah, it really starts with our leader over there. I thought the dude was gonna have whiplash around there. I was like, with a leader over there.
If he had some hair, leader. So yes, it starts with LeBron, man, and
LeBron, but there's his scapegoat right there. You know how you always say you gotta have a fall guy.
David Blatt was that fall guy,
huh?
David Blatt was that fall guy.
He was. Now it's Kevin Love. Because LeBron James ain't gonna let. He's got 2 fall guys. He was like, well, which one's gonna cause me the most pain? Blatt. Get him out. Kevin Love, on the other hand, I can handle him. He's running fall guy. So what? They don't win the title. He's already thrown him under the bus once, twice, 15 times over the course of 2 years, but 2 big times this year. When they got their ass handed to them by Golden State, they were like, well, LeBron. Well, it's the lack of playoff experience that we got on the team. Shut up and take the blame. What a piece of crap. He's a piece of work, dude. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah.
He, he's hated by even his hair follicles. That's the reason why he don't grow hair.
You know, like Patrick, you and hair lately, like you've been hating a lot of people because of their hair.
Well, I'm hating LeBron James for the lack thereof.
It's still hair.
It's still hair. Well, no, it's not hair. Trust me, it's not hair.
Well,
my hair got pissed off at me. Look at this. My hair's pissed off at me. And they're like, man, fuck that shit. I'm packing my follicles and getting the hell out of here.
Well, look, man, there's no more excuses. I mean, it's simple as that. If the title does not happen this year, look, you have a coach in there now, and they didn't just give him an interim level, Tyronn Lue I'm talking about. They gave him a 3-year deal, so he's going to be there. So what are you going to do?
Until next year when LeBron gets him fired.
I know. It just kind of seems that way, man. But hey, it's title or bust. So we'll see what happens. And it's gonna be,
have you seen the West?
Yeah, I've seen the West. I don't think I don't think they can beat Golden State. I mean, they beat the Spurs, but I don't know if they can beat the Spurs in the series. So
I don't think they can beat the Golden State in the series. I don't think they can beat the Spurs in the series, and I don't think they can beat the Thunder in the series.
Yeah, OKC got to get better defensively, though. I think that's the biggest.
Yeah, they do. They do.
If they can get better defensively, then yeah. That'd be a pretty good series too. But yeah, I still say a Western Conference team will win the title. I mean, in my estimation, I picked the Spurs, so
I picked Oklahoma.
So, and then Golden State will be heard from. These dudes
they're serious, dude.
Yeah,
they are serious. I think they're playing with like they ain't playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're playing with a whole bag of freaking tortilla chips on their shoulder. They're playing.
Oh yeah, man, they're out to prove this wasn't a fluke last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, just simply put, they are out to prove this was nothing to be playing with. We're here to stay. And Steph Curry, I guess, just has in his mind it doesn't matter where he shoots from. I mean, you talk about a dude who literally gets out the car open. That is Steph Curry.
He steps off the car and goes.
And they're normal shots.
Have you seen the clip on YouTube where the guy he's dribbling around and it says imitation of Steph Curry. He dribbles around and he shoots and the whole bench and he like leaves his hand in slow motion. As soon as it leaves his hand, the bench is like, whoa!
Yeah.
And he's running around going, ball ain't even winning. Ball ain't even winning the goal yet.
Because they know it's good. when it leaves his hands, you just feel it's going in regardless.
Mm-hmm. He's shooting 77%. I mean, that'd be nice. I mean, hell yeah, I would jump up and be like, whoa, get the ball.
As soon as it leaves his hand. Ah, shoot. Well, Patrick, I guess we'll wrap this one up, man. We got a couple of shows coming up. We got to do our NHL show, the midseason review and preview. So we got to do that Tuesday. Might have a couple of special guests on there. We'll see. So
we do have a special guest coming on for the basketball, right?
Yes, we do. Might have a couple for there too. I know we got one for sure. Shouts out to you, Stan. Shouts out. We looking forward to having you on the show.
Who we got? Who'd you say was going to come in for hockey?
Hockey is supposed to be my boy Philip.
Oh, shouts out to Philip. I don't know you yet, but get to know you, dog.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see on Tuesday. If not Tuesday, then Wednesday, man. You know, our schedules are especially my school schedule it's been a little rough. But we'll see if we can get it in definitely on Tuesday. But other than that, well, continue to like the webcast, check it out, subscribe to it on YouTube, like it on Facebook, and don't worry, we will be on Twitter, I promise. Just have to continue to look into it a little bit more and just start posting these bad boys on Twitter. But we'll be on there. I still got to change my Twitter handle. Patrick's is still the same at, what is it? The Preciousness?
At the Freshness. And
Yes.
I started playing on there. I'm getting my hashtags ready. So yeah, dog, when Charles says, okay, do your Twitter thing, dog, I already got the hashtags ready.
Yes, sir. So we'll be getting on that.
15 of them.
We'll be getting on that.
The first one is, right?
Huh?
You know what the first one is, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Hashtag the freshness is the bestestness.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, it's coming, dog. It's coming.
Well, we'll look forward. Hey, everybody, look forward to that. We're gonna get on these other sites, and we're gonna really get this thing out here. So, for everybody who has subscribed and liked the page, we appreciate it, and continue to spread the word to your friends. And we're gonna keep these things going. So, until then, until later on this week, everybody take care. Have a good work week. We'll see you soon.